Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, Olivia and I. Today's video is going to be about the first year of parenting, sort of highs and lows. I haven't written any notes on this. I thought I'll just wing it, sort of go into about how I'm feeling, how we've had to adjust to everything being new, and I just thought would sort of speak about it because it's such a big milestone, I think, for any relationship, for any person to go into. I'll start with the lows, just give a sort of quick rundown on them, and then we'll end with the highs, so the video's ending with a positive. I've always wanted to be a parent since I was like 13 years old. I've wanted to be a mum, and I thought I was going to be a mum by the time I was 25. That didn't work, so I was just over 30 by the time I gave birth to Olivia. I think that the biggest adjustment for ourselves, myself and my husband, has been this sleep, the lack of sleep, which is just so tough. You think you're tired and then you just enter a whole new level of tiredness when you become a parent. And I think you kind of get used to it. You kind of go, oh, I'm tired, but well, let's just go, you just get on with it. It doesn't matter how little of sleep you've had, you just battle on, really. You kind of get to the point where you don't complain about it, you don't stress over it, you just get on with it. Especially when you're back to work, it's even crazier when you're going on lack of sleep and you've got to work 8 hours a day in a busy office. I think in terms of our relationship has been a big adjustment, because when it's just the two of you, there is a sort of level of selfishness. You think about the other person, but you don't really adhere to sort of the bigger picture. And when that little baby, that third person comes into it, you're so focused on that baby that everything else just gets put out the window, and there's no room for working on a relationship that you have been working on for a long time, and then all of a sudden it's just this baby's priority. You're going on lack of sleep, emotions are high, the hormones are all over the place, and I think, like a lot of other people, there is lots of bickering. There's not arguments, there's just a lot of bickering and apologies and trying to adjust to lack of sleep and trying to adjust to looking after this baby, and parenting styles coming together, and one person will have an idea, another person will have an idea, and there's constant sort of battles to see what's the best solution, and I am such a perfectionist. I genuinely cannot stress that point. It doesn't matter how much, it doesn't matter what aspect of my life, I've always been a perfectionist, but sometimes that can like blinker my sort of focus a bit, because I'm so like, oh, it needs to be perfect, it has to be this way, it cannot be any other way. But sometimes you just need to stop and go, well, maybe not the perfect way, but this way will work, and although it's not maybe what I vision to be the perfect solution, there are other ways that are slightly maybe not what I would have considered to start with. So it has been a big adjustment. I think the two things that really stressed me out more than anything about being a parent, because I think I think a lot of people can be quite scared of babies, and I have no fear over them. I remember looking after, must have been my cousin when he was really young, and I just it didn't faze me whatsoever. I love babies. I used to take them out walks when I was little, and I'm not afraid of them. I think a lot of people speak about the fear of being a mum and looking after them, but I've always felt, in the whole year I've had Olivia, I've felt so much confidence in being a mum, because it's just what I wanted to do, and I felt like it was the one thing, away from work, away from relationships, it's the one thing, it just felt right. I just felt like I was a mum before I even came a mum. There wasn't a learning process. You know, yes, there was learning, but always felt confident, changing the nappies, feeding, looking after her, playing with her. I just feel like I'm a natural mum. And I don't know if that sounds quite big-headed, but it's how I feel, and I hope that there are other people who can relate to that and maybe openly admit that that's how they felt about becoming a mum. However, there was a couple of things that definitely threw me. And the first one was the dummy. Now, I had no issues about giving her, Olivia, a dummy. I was quite prepared to do that. We'd bought a dummy before, you know, when she was born. I had one in the hospital. But because I was breastfeeding, there was always this, you know, nipple confusion sitting in the back of my head. And I was like, well, I don't want to give her the dummy too early. They're always talking about over 6 weeks. So that really kind of threw me. But she wouldn't sleep. She wouldn't sleep anywhere but on me. So for the first 2 weeks, we were co-sleeping downstairs on a sofa, on the single chair. It was the best situation I could make out of a bad situation, if that makes sense. But it took the health visitor to come into my house and say, look, if it's going to work, give it a try. You know, just let her try it. Get her to sleep in her own bed, which eventually it did. And I was upset over giving it to her, but it was again the whole, I wanted to do the right thing. I was stressing over whether was it the right thing. I was getting upset. I was upset in front of the health visitor. I just didn't know what the correct thing was to do, and I was such in a muddle with it. But eventually, the health visitor basically said, look, if it's going to work, do it. And it just sometimes takes somebody to go, it's okay, you can do it. And that's what we did, and it was the best decision ever. But yeah, that was definitely one of the things that totally threw me, because I just didn't know what to do. But it was the best thing for our situation. The second thing that really got to me was weaning, and I just really got mixed up with it. I'll link my sort of 5 tips to weaning below video that I did, but it was just not happening, because I didn't want to do baby-led weaning, personal reasons, my own choice, nothing to do with, if you want to do baby-led weaning, that's fine. But I just didn't want to do it. I wanted to do spoon feeding, so I made up all my own purees, but just never felt like the purees clicked with her. We got a couple of she would eat all the fruit in the world, she loved the fruit, but the vegetables, carrots. I think the one thing that really threw me out of the whole thing was that she didn't like potatoes. Sweet potatoes if it was maybe mixed in with something, but even then, that was a struggle to get her to eat. And I think it was because potatoes is such a staple food, shepherd's pie, mince and tatties, or mince and potatoes, just all these sorts of different things that I just envisioned her, I just had a visions that she would just eat potatoes no problem. If I had it with cheese or beans, then she would eat it. So again, I panicked, and it was really, really stressing me out, and I was getting frustrated, she was getting frustrated, because she didn't want the food, but I was trying to give her the food and trying, this whole keep her encouraging and get her to try it a few times, and maybe eventually she'll realise that she does like it, but it wasn't a nice situation to be in. And I hummed and hawed about phoning the health visitor, but eventually I just said, right, I'm going to phone the health visitor, I'm really struggling, I was getting advice from other mums, it wasn't that, I just needed somebody to come, and again this whole vision of how weaning was going to go, and it wasn't like that, and again I just needed somebody to come in and go, this is what you need to try, and her idea was that to give her, to sort of to miss out on purees, to go straight to mash, more textured food. And completely surprisingly, Olivia took to it no bother, and we have no problems with her eating anything these days. She loves all the food. She does love her fruit, but she loves yogurt, she loves, vegetables, you know, meat, anything. She's such a good eater. Kind of sometimes think, what was I worrying over? Why did I not just do that? But you know, when you're a first time mum, you just don't want to mess up, and there's so much pressure to get it right. So yeah, that was kind of the two things that really got me, and I look back on that quite tough times, but you know, we got through it. And I think ever since then there's nothing really that's been tough, apart from maybe when she had a tummy bug, sort of in December, sort of middle of December. She was really came down with a tummy bug that was going round. She was sick. That just wasn't nice to see at all. And we have been so lucky with Olivia, because in the last year she's never been an ill baby. She's not been sick, she's not had colic, she's not had reflux, silent reflux. She's been the best feeder in the world with breastfeeding. She's taken to formula, she's taken to bottles, she's taken to feeding once we got there. Her sleep has been up and down, but it is improving. You know, it's not the worst. We're not up. She's never really been a baby to be up all hours of the night. You know, apart from the odd night here and there, maybe where she's teething or she's been ill, she's kind of always slept through. The dummy's been a big saviour, because it's just like, okay, to start with, we were maybe putting the dummy in a few times a night, but as the sort of like months have passed and she's older now, you know, we're maybe only putting it in once or twice. So going forward, I think that's probably the worst things for me. Generally, it's been one of the best years of my life. Obviously, I've got other things like having her and getting married and meeting Craig and, you know, all the wonderful holidays, but it's definitely been the most amazing year. It's been an experience. It's taught me so much. I feel like I'm so much more confident now. I'm so much more patient. I just love being a mum. I really, really love it. I love so I'll just go on to all the highs. Obviously, I just think it's just that feeling. I always remember going to visit babies, and they never wanted to be in your arms. You know, they wanted their parents, they wanted their mum, they didn't know you, they were a stranger, they would cry, and you couldn't soothe them. And I always remember looking forward to that feeling when it's my baby and it's me having to take that baby from someone who's a stranger to them, and wanting and needing me and crying for me and calling out for me. It is just the best feeling now that I've experienced it. I just absolutely love being a mum, and I just can't believe she's one. The whole development stage, watching them grow and learn and teaching them, you know, me doing things to her and her repeating them, and, you know, doing things from constantly me seeing it, speaking, you know, crawling and walking, you know, not whether she's walking yet, but, you know, just all the development stages. It's just amazing to watch them grow from this little tiny baby, you know, to someone who's a toddler, who's, you know, she's almost walking, her talking's coming on slowly, but, you know, she's getting there, and it's just a joy to watch. She's just like a little human being. She's just like a little person now with her own personality and her quirks, and there's things that she likes and there's things that she doesn't, and she wants, you know, she wants to show you what she wants. She's so independent. It's just an amazing feeling to watch them grow and know that you created that little person, you grew her in your tummy, you've watched her grow and develop, and it's just the best feeling. I just gush about it, and I'm not going to babble on too much more about it because I could go on all night, but she's just amazing. And you know, we've come together as a family, we've grown together, we've adjusted, we've gotten through all the bad times, the sleepless nights, the tummy bugs, will I not give her a dummy, will I give her formula, have I finished breastfeeding, you know, it's just, you know, it's taken us closer. Me and Craig, we're a family now, we're a knit-tighted, you know, we still have our issues, we've still got probably loads more things to learn from over the years as she gets older, but no, it's so good. There's so much highs for me. I just think it's the best thing ever. I don't regret becoming a parent. We're just I like to think that we're just really good parents. We do the best. We try as hard as we can for her. And that's really it. I mean, I could go on all night about how much I love it. In terms of like more specific highs, there really isn't anything apart from what I've sort of mentioned. You know, she's just her own little character now. She's independent. She does things herself, and it's just funny to watch. She's got quite a little quirky character. She's funny. I love her laugh, and just watching her with other people and seeing what she does. She's adjusted to nursery. She's adjusted to me going back to work. It's not easy. That's probably I didn't quite mention going back to work, but that for me has been the hardest thing ever. I would love to be a full-time mum, and not necessarily not work, but not work to the extent that I have to. You know, I'm very lucky that I got down to 4 days, but even that feels like too much. I just want to be with her. I want to see her grow and develop, and you know, I'm so terrified that she's going to walk at nursery or take her first steps when I'm not here, when she was with grannies. And I just don't want to miss out on anything. I just want to, you know, take it all in and enjoy it. But, you know, needs must. You've got to work. There's bills to pay. Sorry about that. My battery's died, so it's probably a completely different angle because I'm now using my iPhone to do this, finish it off. But I won't ramble on anymore because I think I've spoken enough, and a lot of the highs just all merge into one. But I hope you've liked this video. It was just something that I sort of came up with over the last couple of days. I'm going to do a few things about Olivia's birthday, and going forward I have now decided to do a weekend vlog. So my new times of uploading will be a Monday, and then I'll still do my video on a Friday. So hopefully my upload video will be a Monday and a Friday. But I hope you like this video. Give it a thumbs up. If there's any comments you would like, I'm happy to discuss anything. And if you're brand new to this channel, I would absolutely love you to subscribe. Bye.